Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Louis Gisto Field. Pleased to bring you some Crawdads baseball here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network. I can pitch to Pamilia. He takes this to the opposite field, and will it stay fair? It does. Curran will come around third to score. Back-to-back doubles for the Crawdads. First pitch to Hans is hit hard over to Werner. He's up with it, throws to first in time, and a great pick by Dabbs. 1-2 pitch, here it is. Fastball swung on and missed, and Brooks walks the tightrope, leaves two runners stranded, and it's still a 3-0 lead for the Crawdads. Pitch here is taken to left by Muniz, and that is gone. A 3-run homer for Diego Muniz, and was there any doubt about that ball? 0-2 pitch to Diego. Here it is, and Muniz hits this high into left field, and that is going to leave the park as well. The second home run for Diego Muniz. And a swing and a miss on a high fastball away. Montgomery goes down fishing, and that is strikeout number 8 for Garza. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Walnut Creek Crawdads baseball. Just first pitch about to come up right now. The leadoff hitter will be Jordan Thompson for the Crawdads. The Crawdads come into this game 19-21 against the not the Prune Packers, the Lincoln Potters, who are 34-17 overall. First pitch to JT is ball one, as it is low from the starting pitcher tonight for the Potters. It is Brandon Gomez, the lefty from Winters, California. He'll be a freshman at Sierra Junior College. And the count 1-0. Second pitch, and Thompson fouls this back above the grandstands, and the count will even up at 1-1. We are working to get you some video here today at McBean Stadium. Here is the 1-1 pitch, and that's on the outside corner for strike 2. But until then, we will just have the audio broadcast, of course. After Thompson, who's in center field tonight, it'll be Jake Brandell. He'll be in right field. And Diego Muniz, the third baseman, batting third. Thompson fouls this away. And then Chase Dabbs, first baseman, batting cleanup. Trevor Werner, the designated hitter, batting fifth. Hayden Schott, the left-handed left fielder, batting sixth. Zach DeHaro is doing the catching tonight. He's be batting seventh. Tommy Rover batting eighth. He's at second. And Esparza, the shortstop, batting ninth. Will Iverson on the mound tonight for the Crawdads. This pitch is hit high, and moving in on it is the Potter center fielder, Jeffrey David, for the first out. The defense for the Potters. It's Carson Blatnick behind the plate. Forrester over at first. Jack Grant at second. Quentin Hall, the third baseman. Quentin Hall's in left field, actually. It's Trace Wilhoit at third base. Trevor Haskins at shortstop. And then Hall in left, David in center, and Brando in right. See what Brandell can do. Batting second here. Goes after the first pitch he sees. Pops it up, but foul down the right field line. And that's going to land over near the beer garden that is set up here at McBean Stadium. And the count 0-1 to Brandell. This pitch is in there for strike number 2, so Jake in an 0-2 hole. Brandell is 19 for 69 this summer, batting an even .275 with a couple of homers and 9 driven in. Gomez on the mound with a 5.49 ERA so far. 0-2 pitch, this misses high and away. And Brandell able to draw a ball out of Gomez. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. With one away here in the top of the first. The big storyline coming into today is the Potters' magic number is 1. If they win today, they lock their number 2 spot up in the CCL North. This pitch fouled back as well. Count 1 and 2 still. But they will lock up their playoff seed as the number 2 team in the CCL North. Healdsburg really ran away with the division. They have a 6-game lead over the Potters in a 12-game lead over the Crawdads. The Crawdads are not officially eliminated. They have to win out, however. So that starts tonight. 1-2 pitch here to Brandell. And he swings through it. That's a strikeout for Gomez. That is Gomez's 24th strikeout of the summer. And he has just officially thrown 22 innings with the first 2 outs here in the top of the first. Fly out from the switch-hitting Thompson, and then the righty Brandell strikes out, and here will be Diego Muniz. Muniz is actually playing third base today instead of Warner. Warner getting the day off, at least in the field. First pitch to Muniz is down the pipe for a strike. But Warner going to be the designated hitter today. Muniz at third base, which is actually where he played during the showcase game down in Compton. And swings through. Good off-speed pitch from Gomez. Gomez's last appearance was on July 21st against the Packers. That was a 13-11 win. Pitched an inning, gave up a run, faced 7. And the 0-2 pitch to Muniz, who bounces this on the ground, but Grant has it and throws to first in time. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Gomez and the Potters. And we will get a look at Willa Iverson on the mound for the Crawdads when we return. Bottom of the first coming right up on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Louis Gisto Field. Pleased to bring you some Crawdads baseball here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network. I can pitch to Pamilia. He takes this to the opposite field, and will it stay fair? It does. Curran will come around third to score. Back-to-back doubles for the Crawdads. First pitch to Hans is hit hard over to Warner. He's up with it, throws to first in time, and a great pick by Dabbs. 1-2 pitch, here it is. Fastball swung on and missed, and Brooks walks the tightrope, leaves 2 runners stranded, and it's still a 3-0 lead for the Crawdads. Pitch here is taken to left by Muniz, and that is gone. A 3-run homer for Diego Muniz, and was there any doubt about that ball? 0-2 pitch to Diego. Here it is, and Muniz hits this high into left field, and that is going to leave the park as well. The second home run for Diego Muniz. And a swing and a miss on a high fastball away. Montgomery goes down fishing, and that is strikeout number 8 for Garza. 1-2 pitch here from Garza. Swing and a miss. Garza has everything working this afternoon. Another strikeout. Hayden Schott going to look to put the ball in play here. Payoff pitch is lined straight up the middle. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to McBean Stadium here in Lincoln, California. McBean Stadium with a capacity of around 2,000. Say it's getting close to half full on this beautiful Tuesday evening, just coming up on 6:15. It is July 27th, 2021. So glad you could be here. We did get the video problem figured out, so hopefully that is coming through crystal clear for you all on your end at home. Crawdads were not able to get a run or a hit in the top of the first, and it'll be Ulla Iverson on the mound. He will try to keep the Potters off the scoreboard here in the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Potters is Trevor Haskins, the shortstop. And the first pitch from Ulla is good for strike 1. So it's Haskins, then Jeffrey David, the center fielder, batting second. Garrett Forster, the first baseman, batting third. The 0-1 pitch, and this is ripped into left field. That will get down as it bounces up against the wall. Schott has to throw it back in. That'll be a stand-up double, leading off the bottom of the first for Trevor Haskins. Here comes Jeffrey David to the plate. After Forster, who's batting third, will be Brando, the right fielder, batting cleanup. Hall, the number 5 man, who's in left field tonight. The DH, Trey Furry. Carson Blatnick batting 7th. He's the catcher. Trace Wilhoit, the third baseman, batting 8th. And Jack Grant, the second baseman, batting 9th. But here is Jeffrey David. after Haskins collected his 30th hit of the summer with that last double. First pitch from Ula is a good curveball. That's been there for Ula all summer long. Iverson coming in with a 3.58 ERA and 27 2/3 innings pitched. Does have 36 strikeouts. Have not seen him throw, however, on the road here in Lincoln. A 1 pitch from Ula is popped up high, and Brandell looking at it in right field, and now he's going to make a throw back in, but the ball is hit deep enough for Haskins to tag up and reach third. A productive out there for Jeffrey David. He's tearing the cover off the ball, batting .419. And this will bring on the righty, Garrett Forrester. A good start offensively here, at least for the first few men at bat for the Potters. And here is Garrett Forrester. First pitch to Forrester misses away, and Ula is behind. Forrester sticks the bat out, asks Ula for the pitch. Ula obliges and gives him a fastball in the outer half for strike one. Count 1-1 with one away, but Haskins over at third. Forrester hitting .370. This will be his 18th game and his 55th at-bat. Does have 20 driven in. There's a curveball that tries to come back in, but is not able to, and that's the second ball of the at-bat. Fourth pitch coming up. Count 2-1. Forrester does have 8 extra base hits, 6 doubles, 2 triples, along with the 2 home runs and 20 RBIs I mentioned. This is a little flare into shallow left center. It does bounce down. Thompson will have it, and he'll just have to throw to Esparza as the Crawdads give up the first run of the game on a little bloop off the bat of Garrett Forrester. Crawdads in an early 1-0 hole in the bottom of the first with still just the 1 out. Ula is not used to giving up that many runs. So it's only 1. He's been very good at limiting damage this summer. He's 4-1 this summer. This is his 7th start. All 7 appearances have been starts. And here is Jason Brando. Move over to first. Not in time. Ula just keeping an eye on Garrett Forrester. And the first pitch to Brando is grounded into right field. That'll be a single for Forrester. Back-to-back singles, 1 an RBI single for Forrester, then the single for Brando. And Forrester's on second, Brando over on first. And here is Quinton Hall. Ula's longest start this summer has been 5 innings even. He's done it twice, once against the Potters on June 22nd and then on June 15th at the San Luis Obispo Blues. Both of those were wins. But he's in some early trouble here against Lincoln. Pitch from Ula is a curveball that is fouled back by Quinton Hall. Hall hitting .377. 8 doubles and 3 triples, but more importantly, 6 home runs with 38 runs batted in. And he has 2 on the bases now, 1 man in scoring position. That's Forrester, and then Brando over at first. Outfield playing standard, the infield playing for the double play. This pitch misses outside to count even, 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Double play would be just what the doctor ordered. The last ball that was put in play was hit on the ground, and Rover could not get deep enough in the hole to field it. Defense for the Crawdads. Dabs over at first, Rover at second, Muniz at third, Esparza at short. Terrell behind the dish. 1-1 pitch is fouled back into the backstop. And the count 1-2. In the outfield from left to right, it is Hayden Schott, Jordan Thompson in center, and Jake Brandell over in right field. The lefty Ula today dealing with a predominantly right-handed lineup. In fact, only one lefty in the entire lineup for the Potters. That'll be Carson Blatnick batting 7th. The 1-2 pitch from Ula. This misses low. Count 2-2. Ula was looking for a strikeout. He'll be looking for it again here. We mentioned Iverson has thrown against the Potters, but he hasn't pitched here in Lincoln. Iverson looks back and delivers. 2-2 pitch. This is hit on the ground. Esparza makes a slide to his left, throws over to second for one, and over to first, not in time. Looked like an inning-ending double play, but instead just a fielder's choice. But it is one out. It'll be one out, runners on the corners after that. So the one out on the board, and it's 2 total. And Brant Cummings is walking over to the umpire to ask him what was wrong. Maybe Esparza didn't like the slide into Rover. I'm not sure. Esparza made a great play, sliding to his side, reaching the glove down, and then making a beautiful throw to Rover. And Rover did a good job turning and making the second throw over to first, but it was not in time to get rid of Quinton Hall, who was booking it down the line. They were able to take care of Brando. So Brando is off the field. And stepping into the batter's box will be the designated hitter, Trey Furry. Fielder's choice, and the putout was 6-4. Just the one out instead of the double play. So there are 2 on the board now for the Crawdads, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, there are runners at the corners. Forster being able to advance over to third, and Quinton Hall at first. Tejero going over strategy here with Ula while the umpires have a conversation, and looks like we're ready to play ball again. And nothing was changed, so it's just going to stay a one-out play instead of a double play. And here is Trey Furry. Furry hitting .261, but does have some juice in the bat. 6 home runs, 29 driven in. But he has struck out 44 times. Ula has the strikeout stuff. Can he get Furry to get out of the inning? First pitch is a fastball that misses outside. Count 1-0. Score 1-0. Still in the first inning here. Crawdads were not able to come up with a hit or a run in their chance at the dish. Potters able to tally one early. That's been all. This pitch, a strike. The count even 1-1. Iverson was part of the showcase game for the CCL North. There's a beautiful curveball. That's been one of the reasons why he's been so successful this summer. The breaking ball that Iverson can throw for strikes, and the count is 1-2 to the righty Furry with 2 runners on. 1-2 pitch from Ula, and this is hit into left field. Shot running after it and makes the catch just inside the foul line for out number 3. So good job getting out of some early trouble by Ula Iverson. Does give up the 1 run, but it is 1-0, and it could have been a lot more for the Potters, who are trying to clinch their ticket to the playoffs with a win tonight. The Crawdads trail 1-0. Second inning coming up in just a few short moments. You are watching Crawdads Baseball on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the second inning, Crawdads down by a run. It is 1-0 Potters. They were able to break the ice in the bottom of the first. And up to bat is the lefty, Chase Dabbs. Pitch to Dabbs is good for a strike. Gomez has looked comfortable so far. Second pitch to Dabbs. Dabbs swings at it, hits it over to Grant near second base, and the throw is in time. Dabbs is retired on just 2 pitches for out number 1. Here comes Trevor Werner. Lefty in Dabbs leading off, then Werner, and on deck now is Hayden Schott. So lefty, righty, and then lefty. Werner hits the first pitch, but he hits it foul. Running on it are a few Potters, but that lands above the Potter bullpen onto the tarp that gives some shade. Like both Forrester and Grant were making an effort to get over there. Werner hitting .276 with 6 home runs and 27 RBIs. On Sunday, he had a home run. Big blast off the scoreboard over at Louis Gisto Field. This pitch misses low, and the count even at 1-1. So the Crawdad designated hitter, not used to saying that. He's usually over at third, although on Sunday we saw him at short. We've seen him all over the place now this summer. Played at short during the showcase game. 1-1 pitch. That's a good fastball from Gomez, and the count even at 1-2. Gomez shakes Blatnick off and then likes the second signal. Blatnick sets up, and the pitch. This is on the outer half, but just a bit too outside, and Werner takes for ball number 2. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Couple of putouts for Grant so far, and this pitch misses low and away. Count 3-2. First full count of the evening for a Crawdads hitter to work with. See if Werner is able to get a pitch that he likes, and if Gomez decides to instead pitch around him here, or if he goes right after him with a fastball. Payoff pitch. Gomez lays it down the middle, and Werner hits it down the right field line. Werner turns at first. He's heading into second, and now he's going all the way to third, and he will have a triple. That ball got caught down there in the corner, down near the 314 stampage over on the wall. And it was finally dug out by Brando and thrown back in. That'll be a triple for Werner. First it looked like that ball may have just not gotten enough altitude, and Forrester may have been able to jump up and grab it, and went up and was not able to get it. And here is Hayden Schott with 1 away. Werner at third. Schott hits this the other way into left field, and Werner will jog home. That's an RBI base hit for Hayden Schott. Schott also had a home run on Sunday, so the two men who did a lot of damage the last time the Crawdads played have just linked up to score the tying run here. It is 1-1 in the top of the second. With Zach DeHaro now at the plate. Oh, no, check that. That is number 4. That is Tommy Rover. Rover batting 7th, playing second base, and DeHaro batting 8th. Count 1-0 to Rover. In a game that's knotted up 1-1 with Schott over at first base. And the count 2-0 to Tommy. And this pitch is fouled into the backstop. The count 2-1. Yeah. And it looks like the Crawdads have actually batted out of order here. I wonder what the deal is. because I got the lineup before the game, and Rover's supposed to be batting 8th. Instead, he's batting 7th. This pitch misses. See what the deal is. This is I have not seen this season. I actually haven't seen this ever at a baseball game, so I wonder if there was an adjustment made just before the game. Those adjustments can be made to the lineup just before game time. The count now 3-2. I'm making the adjustment in my scorebook. Everybody else up here in the press box is doing the same. The umpires are letting it go. Payoff pitch to Rover, who swings and hits this foul into the netting. And there's Tejero to pick up the foul ball. So they're just batting in each other's positions, it looks like, between Rover and Tejero. Payoff pitch coming to Tommy Rover. Shot leading off of first. Gomez throws, and this misses high and outside. Rover walks. And I'm wondering if the Potters are all thinking, hey, wait a sec. And in fact, manager Ryan Stevens is now walking out. I wonder if he's going to have a chat with the home plate umpire and say, hey, they just batted out of order. In fact, he's showing the lineup card to the home plate umpire, and we'll see what happens here. So Ryan Stevens has been able to urge the umpires to have a conference. And I'm looking up the rule here. If the batter who just finished batting does not follow the previous batter in the written order, his plate appearance was improper. Any advances or scores due to his action are nullified. He is removed from the bases if he reached. And the proper batter is called out. So let's see if indeed Hayden Schott is now moving back to first. Tommy Rover is going to stay at bat. Zach Tejero is automatically out. So the way that works is, I believe Tommy Rover will continue his at bat. It was a 3-2 count, and he was walked. So instead, it'll be a new at bat for Rover, who batted in place of Tejero, and he will bat again. This time with 2 outs. Check that, with just 1 out. So Rover, who batted 7th for Tejero, who was supposed to bat 7th, drew a walk. Tejero is automatically out. So that's the out on the board. And now there are 2 outs, and Rover, who is now batting in his proper 8th position after batting for Tejero, fouls the first pitch away. Well, that is pretty interesting. We have not seen that this summer. And Rover swings at the second pitch, count 0-2. I'm still trying to tabulate it up in my scorebook. I got to make the adjustment again, putting Tejero back to where he's supposed to be, and a Rover back in the 8th spot. But at any rate, it is 0-2 with 2 away, and here's the 2-strike pitch to Rover. Does not offer at it, and the ball bounces away from Blatnick, but just briefly. Shot still at first. And the only thing I'm not sure of is how that is going to be scored in point streak, as I'm sure they did give the walk to Rover. 1-2 pitch to Tommy. Tommy takes, and he is rung up looking. A Rover walked the first time he batted this inning, and then struck out the second time. After 1.5 played, it is 1-1 here in Lincoln, bottom of the second. After this short break, you are watching Crawdads Baseball on the Crawdads streaming network. One here in the bottom of the second. Crawdads were able to score the tying run the top half of the inning. First it was Warner with the triple to lead off, then Hayden shot, drove him in, and then the very odd instance of having Rover bat twice. Him and Tejero batted out of order. Rover was supposed to bat 8th, Tejero 7th. Instead, Rover batted 7th and 8th. And the first at-bat doesn't even count. It's just charged as an out, put out by the catcher of Tejero. But for the Lincoln Potters, it'll be Blatnick, Will Hoyt, and then Jack Grant. 7, 8, 9. Carson Blatnick, the lone lefty in the order for Lincoln. Sees the first pitch from the lefty Ula for strike one. Seen Blatnick a lot this season. 0-1 pitch misses, blown away. The count even at 1-1. Blatnick batting .279. This is his 62nd appearance at the dish. 1-1 pitch. It's a good breaking ball from Ula for strike number 2. And there's 1 ball and 2 strikes on the scoreboard here in Lincoln, California. In the bottom of the second, Ula looking for his first strikeout of the evening. 1-2 pitch is fouled near the Potter dugout. So good heads-up play by Ryan Stevens. Even though the game is tied and there was the triple by Warner, the play of the game so far, if you're expecting both these teams to score, there's usually some pretty competitive games between Lincoln and Walnut Creek, has to be for Ryan Stevens, the manager, and this pitch is fouled up and out of play to visit the home plate umpire and then say, hey, man, look at this. I got the scorecard before the game. These guys are batting out of order. Picked his team up a free out. The count's still 1-2. A little Blatnick. Blatnick calls for time. The Potters wearing the orange jerseys with the white pants and the orange socks. The Crawdads in the red jerseys with the gray pants. 1-2 pitch from Ula. This is a curveball that Blatnick is able to lay off of. And the count is 2-2. Blatnick is over at Sac State. Does have some pop. Has 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Swings and fouls this curveball just barely. Looked like that may have been Ula's first strikeout of the contest. Iverson has a chance tonight to get to 40 strikeouts on the summer. 2-2 pitch. Here it is, and this is fouled away into the netting. Ula up at 26 pitches, as that was pitch number 25. He's thrown 19 strikes and 7 balls. 2-2 pitch, and this is a curveball that Ula just cannot get on top of, and it's up around the head of Blatnick, who's able to duck down. Have not seen that happen often to Iverson. The other big breaking ball thrower, Daniel Garza, he's been on top of his stuff too this summer for the Crawdads. 3-2 pitch to Blatnick, misses low and outside. That's the first walk of the night issued by either pitcher. And it's Ula Iverson who walks Blatnick with the payoff pitch. Here comes Will Hoyt. See what he can do. That was Blatnick's 6th walk of the CCL season. He's over at first, and Will Hoyt swings through a good pitch from Ula. Count 0-1. Will Hoyt batting just over 200, sitting 202. This is 120th at bat, 42nd game. He's played in nearly every game this summer for the Potters. They have played a boatload. This pitch misses high and inside. The count even at 1-1. Coming into this game, the Potters have competed in 51 games. They're 14-10 in league play. 1-1 pitch, misses low and inside, and a good scramble by Tejero. Make sure Blatnick, even though he is a catcher, if this ball does get away from Tejero, Blatnick will go and take second. Will Hoyt does have 24 runs driven in and a home run. 2-1 pitch, and that's a strike on the outer half. The count is even at 2-2. Lineup for the Potters, there's a lot of power 1 through 9. Not only are these some powerful young men, but the park here is a little bit small. This pitch is hit straight over to Esparza, who flips to Rover for 1, and the throw over to first in time for the double play. The twin killing in effect. And a beautiful pitch by Iverson, a nice little flip from Esparza to Rover, and Rover's so good at making that turn at second base and throwing over to Dabbs at first. So an easy 6-4-3 to wipe out Blatnick and Will Hoyt. Now here's Jack Grant up to the plate, batting 9th. And Ula getting ready to deal. Grant swings at pitch number 1, hits it into the netting for strike number 1. Grant hitting .233. A 0-1 pitch, and Grant takes. He is now in an 0-2 hole. Grant has struck out 34 times this summer. And there's number 35, the first strikeout of the night for Ula Iverson, and the 35th strikeout of the summer for Jack Grant. And Ula gets out of the inning after the double play and then the strikeout, and it's still 1-1 after 2. More Crawdads baseball coming right up on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome back to McBean Stadium here in Lincoln, California. I'm along to say the Crawdads are tied with the Potters. It's 1-1. It'll be the number 9 hitter, Sammy Esparza, leading off. Then the switch hitter, Jordan Thompson, and then Jake Brandell. 9-1-2. Gomez on the mound for the Potters. Still, he's up to 27 pitches. Ula on the other side at 36. And the first pitch from Gomez to Esparza is good for strike one. Oh, 1 pitch on the way from Gomez. That hits the outside black, and it is 0-2. So back-to-back good pitches to the number 9 hitter here. Esparza hitting 169, but his defense has been outstanding this summer for the Crawdads. 0-2 pitch, Esparza takes, and he goes down looking. He was not too happy with that call, but it is a strikeout. And Gomez has struck out the last 2 batters he has faced. Rover to end the top of the second. And now Esparza to start the top of the third. One looking, one swinging. Here's Jordan Thompson, who's batting righty today against the lefty Gomez. And the first pitch to the man from Aggieland is in there for strike number 1 with 1 away in the top of the third. JT flew out to center on a little lazy fly ball back in the first to lead off the game. There's a curveball that cannot come back inside, and the count is 1-1. We've seen some power in the bat of Jordan Thompson. Hit a huge home run back on the 24th. This pitch misses high, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. That was against the Prune Packers, but then also on July 21st in that 14-10 loss against the Mudcats, he had a massive 3-run home run. There's a strike to Thompson. The count 2-2. Lefty Gomez staying, or trying to stay, right on track. Thompson is a dangerous hitter, batting .248 with 3 home runs and 14 RBIs. 2-2 pitch misses low and inside, and the count runs full. It is 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out to the Crawdad switch hitting center fielder. Thompson will be a junior over at A&M after this summer. 3-2 pitch. Thompson hits this high, and it's drifting foul. Chasing it is Forrester, and he runs out of real estate. If the foul territory was just a little wider here, it already is pretty wide here at McBean Stadium, but if he had a little bit more room, he would have been able to get over to it. It was hit awfully high, and Forrester got a good jump on the ball. Very short ballpark, 380 to center, 314 down the lines, something like 365 in the alleys. Pitch to Thompson, who hits this high into right field, but it will hang up for Brando, who takes a few steps to his left and makes the catch for out number 2. Thompson is 0 for 2. And Crawdads are going to send up Jake Brandell, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Brandell and Aggie, but a UC Davis Aggie. And the pitch from Gomez.
Do you want the $2 beer?
I want the $4 beer.
The first pitch is ball 1. Do apologize for the folks walking in front of the camera.
I don't drink Harmony unless I'm here.
The count 1-0 to Brandell. Brandell swings, hits this on the ground to Will Hoyt. Will Hoyt throws across the diamond, and he's able to take care of Brandell. Crawdads go down 1-2-3. The strikeout of Esparza, and Thompson was dealt with, and the 5-3 putout of Jake Brandell. Crawdads not able to get on base. This half inning, it is still 1-1. Last of the third. Coming up after this break on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network. Welcome back to McBean Stadium. Ula Iverson on the mound. He's going to have to go through 1, 2, and 3 of the Potters lineup. The score is 1-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Iverson about to throw pitch number 37. And here it is to Haskins for strike one. Haskins had a double lead off the bottom of the first. He's batting over 300 now. Came into the game batting 299. Second pitch to Haskins, bounces in between the legs of Tejero, but harmlessly as there's no one on base, obviously. In the count 1-1. You don't want to see that happen too many times, especially when the base paths become occupied. David on deck and Forster in the hole. This pitch comes in and misses the zone. Count 2-1. Another bouncer there from Ula. Next pitch from the big lefty will be pitch number 40. Ula throws, and that hits the outer part of the plate for strike number 2. The count is even at 2-2. Against the Seattle Studs. Potter's face. Haskins was 1 for 5, and he has his second hit of the night here through the hole on the left side, and that'll be a leadoff single in the bottom of the first. Haskins seeing the ball very well. He's hit a double, now a single. Good job reading that by Hayden Schott. Was able to throw it back in, make sure the speedy Haskins does not end up with another double. Got to be wise with Haskins on the base paths, however. He does have 7 stolen bases, and here is Jeffrey David.
They all went in together.
David, one of the best averages on the Potters team. A move over to first. Just keep an eye on Haskins. David came in hitting .426. Have a home run, 21 driven in. This is his 70th at-bat. He is 0 for 1 tonight, though. First pitch misses low. Now 1-0. Pickoff move. And finally, the first pitch misses. Ula looking to put a strike up. 1-0 pitch. There's a good breaking ball from Iverson. And the count even at 1-1. Iverson leaning in. Left arm down by his hip. Now he's up at the ready. And he fires. This misses high. Good job by Tejero to get a glove on the ball. One nice thing about ball getting by you here, if you're a catcher, you don't have that far to run. Backstop's very close to where you're setting up. It's hard, too, so the ball will bounce back to you. 2-1 pitch. And there's a good fastball right around the knees. And perhaps a little bit low, at least in the eyes of Jeffrey David. And a move over to first. They have Haskins caught in a rundown, and the tag not in time at second. Dabbs fired it over to Rover. Rover swept the tag, and they're going to say that Haskins slid in safely. And here comes manager Brant Cummings, who is going to ask what was wrong there. Man had his foot on the bag, then even made a sweep tag just in case. And we've only seen one call reversed all summer, and that was back in Healdsburg. And Dardar had a hit into right, which their right fielder for Healdsburg, I'm not sure who was playing out there. It wasn't Jesse Lopez as he was in center, but the right fielder for Healdsburg trapped the ball. They initially ruled it a hit. And then they called it an out after the manager for Healdsburg, Gomes, came in and argued about it. Count is 2-2 now to Jeffrey David, with Haskins over on second, and David swings and misses at a beautiful pitch from Iverson for his second strikeout of the night. Jeffrey now 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and the strikeout, and Iverson with his second strikeout. So good job of Ula not letting what could have been out number one over at second base after making a good pickoff move rattle him. But here is Garrett Forrester, who has an RBI single for the Potters. First pitch to Garrett, he takes, and it's a good pitch. On the outside for strike number one. Forrester with 11 RBIs now after getting the RBI earlier here in the first. 11 RBIs in CCL play, that is. And Ula has a look back over to second. That'll be ruled a stolen base for Haskins. That's his 8th of the summer. And Iverson takes another glass back and delivers. This pitch is popped up high, but that will be well out of play. No chance for Randell or Dabbs to get to it. Count 0-2 to Garrett Forrester. Forrester with 20 RBIs, 21 RBIs now in overall play. That includes teams like Seattle Studs or the Yuba Sutter Gold Sox, the teams that are outside of the CCL that so many of the northern teams play against. Only have 4 teams in the northern division as opposed to the south, who have 6. 10 teams overall in the CCL. The playoffs starting on the 4th. Potters trying to get the win here and clinch their playoff spot. Crawdads not only looking to spoil that, at least tonight, but stay alive themselves. 0-2 pitch here to Forrester. Forrester pops it up about a mile high, and it keeps carrying into the outfield. Brandell ends up having to run back for it, and the ball came out of the glove, so they're going to call that, it an out, but then he was not able to throw it back in time. That'll be an RBI, sacrifice RBI into right center. Randell ran into the wall after making the catch. That ball was hit very high. I mean, Forrester got under the ball, and the wind is blowing very hard out to center. It just kept carrying, and it made it tough for Brandell to throw it back in. And Haskins was able to run all the way from second to home, score run number 2 for the Potters. It is 2-1 Lincoln.
Let's go, 20. Summer repeat, buddy. Oh, they're protesting. Oh, come on. Yeah,
fly ball that just kept carrying and carrying.
Put one out, 2-0.
Then Brandell looked like he dropped the ball and then had to throw back in, and Haskins was able to hustle for the run. Fastball there from Ula, but a little far too inside to Brando, who's 1 for 1 with a single this afternoon. Bases are all open, however. Nobody on base after the RBI, sacrifice RBI. Garrett Forster, and the count 1-1 after a pitch fouled back into the netting.
Oh, geez, you're having so much fun. We got to knock it down here a little bit. Take it down a notch.
And the 1-1 is a fastball. The inside corner to the righty. The count 1-2. The weather report says the wind's going about 13 miles an hour. And this pitch inside for strike number 3. So Brandell looks at 3 strikes go by for the final out. However, Lincoln is able to recapture the lead. It is 2-1 after the sacrifice RBI into the outfield by Garrett Forrester that allowed Haskins to come all the way from second to home. So it is 2-1 Lincoln. Crawdads up to bat next in the top of the 4th. You are watching Crawdads Baseball on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Crawdads back up to bat to start off the top of the 4th. It's Diego Muniz, then Dabbs. First pitch to Muniz. Gomez is strike 1. Good off-speed pitch there from Gomez. And after Dabbs, it'll be Trevor Werner. Righty, lefty, righty. Kind of a strange game so far. Curveball misses high. Not able to get on top of it is Brandon Gomez, and the count even in 1-1 to Muniz, who's over at third today for the Crawdads. Muniz grounded out over to second baseman Jack Grant earlier. 1-1 pitch to Muniz. That's a curveball that misses away, and the count is 2-1. Good eye so far by Muniz, but been a weird game. You had Tommy Rover and Zach DeHaro bat out of order, so Tommy Rover batted twice in the second, then kind of a iffy out there on the warning track by Jake Brandell last half inning. 2-1 pitch to Muniz. Muniz hits it over to Grant once again, and this will be 4-3 for the second time. Diego Muniz. Something about the 3rd and 4th spots in the lineup, as back in the 1st, Muniz was out 4-3, and then Chase Dabbs, the lefty, was out 4-3. First pitch to Chase. He swings at it and chops it foul.
Oh, yeah, they've got a sponsor.
Gomez doing pretty good with regards to strikes and balls. 32 strikes, 12 balls, 44 pitches overall. Nearly 3-to-1 strike to ball ratio. And the 0-1 on the way to Dabbs. Dabbs watches it bounce in the dirt up to Blatnick. Oh, the artificial dirt. Sure, you know by now, Crawdads fans, but the infield here is entirely artificial turf. 1-1 pitch to Dabbs. A fastball that was down the pipe, but perhaps a bit low, and the count 2-1. Good discipline here by Dabbs. He's batting right around 315, and he swings at this pitch that bounced. Count 2-2, but it's artificial turf in the infield, including the batter's box and all that. Dirt where the dirt would usually be, the mound as well, and then it's real grass on the outfield. 2-2 pitch with one away to Chase. Chase hits this over to Grant, and Grant will throw over to first. So a mirror of the first inning, at least so far, between Muniz and Dabbs, both grounding out to the Potter second baseman. Even though Dabbs was hitting 316, he's not able to put a hit mark in the ledger yet tonight. But here is Trevor Warner, who was the big momentum driver back in the second with the leadoff triple. He then came around to score. First pitch to Warner. He watches it fly by for strike one. The count 0-1 to the Crawdad at DH. It'll be interesting to see how Warner plays throughout the entire game tonight at DH. He's used to being in the field every day for the Crawdads, and Blatnick goes into just about the splits to catch the second pitch from Gomez to Warner. Blatnick, one of these catchers who stretches the leg out occasionally. Can be dangerous, though. You expose yourself as a catcher. The shin guard does not cover the inner thigh, and the count 1-2 after Warner thought about swinging and then pulled back, but a strike nonetheless. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's interesting to see the new school of catching with the one leg out, kind of preserve the knees a bit. You can really get dinged up. This time Blatnick in the conventional stats. 1-2 pitch. This misses high and outside, and the count 2-2. The other thing that catching in that one leg out, one leg in stance can do is it makes it very hard to get in position to block balls. You have to be much more adept with the glove and comfortable with picking them. 2-2 pitch to Warner. Warner swings, but this was hit very high, and it looks like it will hang up for the center fielder, Jeffrey David, to get the third out of the inning. So 4-3, a couple of 4-3 ground ball outs by Muniz, then Dabbs, and then Warner cannot replicate the success he had back in the second. He flies out to center. The Crawdads go down 1-2-3 for the second consecutive time tonight. Once in the third, now in the fourth. Hopefully they'll break that trend the next time they're up to bat in the fifth. It is still 2-1 Potters heading into the bottom of the fourth inning. Bottom of the fourth inning. The Crawdads down by a run. It's been a close game. Kind of a strange game, as I mentioned earlier. The miscue by the Crawdads really being the strangest part of the game, although the play out in center field, Randell in right center, still trying to figure out what happened there, as the only issue with this ballpark here at McBean Stadium is that they have white advertisements on the outfield wall, and so when the sun is glaring and you're trying to pick up the ball, instead of it being green all the way around or dark blue or black, you're looking for a white baseball against a white background. Not only does it make it tough for the outfielders, it makes it very hard for the broadcasters as well as any of the runners on base who are trying to pick up whether the ball is being caught or not. So you have to wait an extra second before you either tag or decide to run. Makes it a little challenging here at McBean, but Ulla Iverson has been up to the task tonight against a very good Potters lineup, and he's still out there for what hopefully will be his fourth complete inning of work. So far, he's given up 4 hits with the 2 earned runs, but he struck out 3, and Quinton Hall will lead off the bottom half of the fourth here. He will be the 14th batter that Ulla has faced, and goes after a first pitch fastball, not able to catch up to it, just makes a little bit of foul contact. That's straight into the backstop to count 0-1. After Hall, it'll be the righty Trey Furry, who's DHing tonight. Then Carson Blatnick, the lefty batting catcher. Good curveball from Ulla, just not able to find the zone, and the count 1-1. Good plate discipline by Quinton Hall. Quinton Hall hit into a fielder's choice back in the first. 1-1 pitch to Hall, and he hits this into the plate and back. Foul, and count 1-2. Iverson has now thrown 39 strikes along with 17 balls. His pitch count getting up there. He's up at 56. But Iverson can go deep in games. I'm sure manager Brand Cummings wants to get at least 5 out of him. We'll see how far he can go. 1-2 pitch from Ulla. This is fouled back. The reason the pitch count has been inflated as opposed to some of the other games that we've seen Ulla pitch, it's been a very good effort by the Potters batters to stay alive in counts and foul a lot of balls off. Good pitches, really spoiling a lot of good pitches from Ulla. We'll see what Ulla goes with here. Possibly the curveball. It's a fastball that misses low, and the count even at 2-2. Hall hitting .376 coming into tonight. Opposing force in the batter's box with 36 RBIs. Hits this high and foul. That'll land in the parking lot, and in fact, it has hit someone's car as the alarm went off. So that is the first victim of the night in the parking lot, car-wise. Similar to Louis Gisto Field, the parking lot is very close to the ballpark, so be careful where you park. 2-2 pitch from Ulla. This is hit high. Brandell backing up, and now will take a few steps forward, make the catch for out number 1. Well, the wind, as I mentioned, is reported around 13 miles an hour. 13 miles an hour exactly is what the weather report says, but it looks like it's howling out there in center. And if it is just 13 miles an hour, all 13 miles an hour are going in the same direction. One nice thing is the temperature has cooled off. It's below 90 now. It's right about 89 degrees. Pitch here to Furry, misses high for ball 1. It was 95 earlier in the day here in Lincoln. 1-0 pitch. This is fouled away. It looked like that may have come in and even gotten Furry near the hands. So he kind of walks around and gets ready to go again. Now he's having a few words with Zach Tejero. And the count 1-1. A good pitch from Ula. The last time we were here in Lincoln, it was above 100 degrees. Luckily, it's a little cooler tonight. 1-1 pitch, and this is a curveball that misses from Ula. The count 2-1. 1 out on the board for Iverson and the Dads. Rover playing just about on the outfield grass, and a swing and a miss. The count is 2-2 to Trey Furry. Rover will go back to that spot. Esparza playing pretty deep in the hole as well over at short. Muniz playing about 6 feet back and 4 feet to the right of the third base bag. Here's the pitch, a check swing, and appeal down to first. The first base umpire says Furry went. Well, Furry breaks the plane, and that is a strikeout for Ula Iverson. Ula now has 4 strikeouts tonight. And here's Carson Blatnick. It'll be lefty against lefty, a rarity, at least tonight, for the Crawdads against the Potters. Blatnick walked in his first trip to the plate. The first pitch to Blatnick here is a fastball on the outer half for strike 1. 0-1 pitch to Blatnick. This misses low. Good job by Tejero. Catching started out a bit shaky this season for the Crawdads, and it has gotten better every week, it seems like, whether it's Tejero, Griffin, or Muniz. 1-1 pitch. This misses low and away. The count 2-1. It seems like every catcher has definitely gotten better in the blocking pitches department, in the area of knowing when to pick with the glove, knowing when just body block it. 2-1 pitch. This is fouled into the pole. That holds the protective screening up, protect the friendly fans here in Lincoln. And the count 2-2. Iverson's next pitch will be pitch number 70. 2-2 on the way, and pitch number 70 is a ball. That's ball number 23 thrown by Ula. With 2 away and a payoff pitch on the way. Here it is, and it nearly comes up and hits Blatnick. Blatnick able to get out of the way, I believe. And he has first base on the walks. Blatnick has walked twice tonight. Been the only person that Ula has left off the hook, or let off the hook, rather. And here is Trace Wilhoit. 2 away. Blatnick able to work his way over to first. Good job battling by Carson. And here is Wilhoit. First pitch to Wilhoit misses for ball 1. Wilhoit would love to get the bat going. Batting at 200. Now 1-1. Best game of the season for Wilhoit, at least at the plate, was back on July 12th, where he was 2 for 3 with an RBI and a few walks. 1-1 pitch to Wilhoit. Wilhoit watches a fastball travel into the glove of Zach Tejero for strike number 2. Ula with a chance for strikeout number 5. Had a chance against Blatnick, but walked him with the payoff pitch. And here's the 1-2. Ula throws, and it is swung through. Iverson has 5 strikeouts through 4 innings of work. And the Potters leave one stranded over on first. Their 3rd stranded in the game, so they left 3 men on base. The Crawdads have only left 1 man on base. However, not the Prune Packers, the Lincoln Potters have been able to register 4 hits as opposed to the Crawdads 2. After 4 complete innings, it is 2-1 Lincoln. Very close, tight game here up in Northern California in the 5th inning coming up when we return. Top of the 5th inning, it's 2-1 Lincoln. You're watching baseball here on the Crawdads streaming network. I'm Alon Desai. My pleasure to bring you all the play-by-play action tonight, and not just tonight, but for the rest of the season. It's been a fun one. Crawdads looking for their 20th win of the summer tonight. And leading off the 5th inning, it'll be Hayden Schott, followed by Zach DeHaro, and then Tommy Rover, as long as everybody bats in the proper order. And the first pitch to the lefty Schott, he hits this, and it gets past the first baseman, Forrester, and that'll be a single for Hayden Schott, his 2nd single of the evening. And the RBI single back in the 2nd. And here's Zach DeHaro, who we will see officially at the plate for the first time tonight after Tommy Rover batted for him in the 2nd. DeHaro take his hacks from the left side, left-handed stance, and he's still waiting to see pitch number 1 as Gomez threw over to first to keep an eye on Hayden. DeHaro shows bunt and pops this up a little bit, but it lands in foul territory over near the Crawdad dugout. Have not seen the Crawdads and manager Brant Cummings employ a whole lot of small ball this summer, but his infield does play pretty fast. Interesting to see if DeHaro shows bunt again. He does not, and the count evens at 1-1. That's the thing, though. This infield does play fast, so if you lay down a bunt, it's got to be a good one. It's got to be right into the ground, and hopefully it doesn't roll straight on to a guy like Trace Wilhoit over at third immediately. A swing and a miss here by DeHaro, and the count 1-2. Home plate umpire says he got a piece of it, but did not get all of it. DeHaro with the 4 RBIs has Hayden Schott over at first, but batting below 240 at 238, and the count evens up at 2-2. DeHaro, the 3rd lefty in the lineup, along with Dabbs and Schott. See if DeHaro can stay alive here, possibly hit one back up the box, and the pitch, DeHaro swings and fouls it back over the grandstand. Count stays even at 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody out. A good start to the inning so far for the Crawdads, with Schott able to reach base on a leadoff single. Bouncer that went over the head of Forrester. And the 2-2 pitch, DeHaro hits this into left field. Running on it is Hall, and that will drop in front of Hall, but only for a single, as it looked like Hayden Schott maybe thought it was going to be caught by Quinton, and Quinton may have lost it in the sun out there in left field. I know, talking to the people here in Lincoln, that left field can get pretty adventurous with the sun beating right down on you, and that ball fell right in front of Hall. It was a good job of Hall, however, throwing back in. So station to station, back-to-back singles for the Crawdads. Good job by Tejero, who's hitting .238. That'll boost the average up a little bit. And here is Tommy Rover, who walked earlier, but that is unofficial. And Rover shows bunt. It's bunted right back to Gomez, who looks at both third and second and then ends up throwing on to first to get Rover. But Rover able to lay down a good bunt, advance both runners, and the Crawdads are in business with 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out in the top of the 5th inning, and the number 9 hitter, Sammy Esparza, heading to the plate. Here's Sammy Esparza, who struck out looking in the 3rd. He was not too happy with the call of the home plate umpire. The shadow is really starting to play some games now with both hitter and pitcher possibly. Definitely the catcher. He's got to track it through the shadows and the light. And Esparza hits this into right center, and that gets down at the warning track over the head of Brando. Hayden's shot comes around to score. Esparza is digging for 3, and Rover is not able to, or Tejero rather, not able to get to home, and he's thrown out. A good relay by the Potters. The Crawdads tie it up. It is 2-2. Tejero, who is catching today, is not able to book it from first all the way to home. I'm sure Esparza had 3 bags on the mind the entire time. Tejero thrown out at home. A good throw between Brando and then Grant.
Looks like
2 away, and here is Jordan Thompson after the RBI triple by Esparza. Could have been 2 runs, and Thompson hits this hard, but on the screws right to Jack Grant for the 3rd out. Esparza, after getting the RBI triple, is left on over at 3rd. The big play being the throw out at home of Zach Tejero after he was able to get a single. And then Thompson hits a ball very hard, but unluckily for him, right at the second baseman, Grant, who was able to jump up and make the squeeze on the baseball. But the Crawdads are able to strike for 1. This game is tied once again. It is 2-2. Every time the Potters put a run on the board, it seems like the Crawdads have been able to respond tonight. And Crawdads still waiting for their first lead of the game. They're going to have to wait a little bit longer, as it is knotted up again, 2-2. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It looks like Ula's going to stay on the mound. We'll have more Crawdads baseball for you when we return. Bottom of the 5th, Jack Grant up to the plate and puts a charge into this into left field, and that is gone. The game tied briefly, and now it is 3-2. Jack Grant has just gone yard after making a nice play on a hard hit ball by Jordan Thompson to end the last half inning. And here in the bottom of the 5th, he is able to give the Potters a lead once again with his 3rd home run of the year. He threw the bat. He knew it was gone. Hayden shot in left field, knew it was gone. And Ula Iverson has just surrendered the 3rd run of the game to the Potters. Do it again here. Ula, after the first pitch to Grant, is a deep fly. And here is Trevor Haskins. Not ideal when the number 9 hitter is getting a big fly, a big hit on starting pitcher Iverson, but Iverson is a gamer, he's a battler, and he's gonna dig down deep and try to come back here to Haskins.
Go Army.
David on deck, pitch is fouled back. Count 0-2. In the hole is Garrett Forster. It was supposed to be 9-1 and 2. Granted more than his job out of the 9 hole. He was able to hit a home run. And I think Andrew Ryan Stevens loves that. And 0-2 pitch is still waiting to be thrown as Haskins, who's 2 for 2 with a double and a single this evening, steps back into the box. And the 0-2 pitch from Ula is hit hard over to Muniz, who bends down, has it, throws across the baseball diamond.
Oh, he pulled it.
And
No
Dabbs
way.
was able to keep a foot on the bag. It looked like Dabbs was pulled off the bag with the throw, but he was able to keep his foot on, and that's an out. It was not the prettiest 5-3 we've seen this season, but 5-3 nonetheless. And there's an out on the board for Ula Iverson and the Crawdads here in the bottom of the 5th, in which Jack Grant got things started for the Potters with a solo shot to lead off the bottom of the 5th, and Ula misses outside with a curveball. Ula has just thrown pitch number 80. He's thrown 54 strikes and 26 balls. The count 1-0 to Jeffrey David. Misses high and away here, does Ula. Ula can get up around 100 pitches. He has no problem doing that. It's just a question of how long is manager Brant Cummings going to let him go. If you ask Ula, he'll throw all night. Count 2-0 to David, who's 0 for 2, and quickly it looks like he is going to be 0 for 3 after this pitch is caught after being hit high. Pop up just over the pitcher's mound, so a good pitch from Ula. Surprised that David went after it. He is 0 for 3 now. And here is Garrett Forrester. Pop out right over the pitcher's mound. I was sure surprised that Ula decided to field it himself, but he did so admirably. And here's a breaking ball for strike 1 to Garrett Forrester, who has a few RBIs, has the RBI single in the first, and then sac RBI in the third. Second pitch to Forrester, misses away. The count 1-1. Crawdads down by a run, tied briefly. And a breaking ball here. Good curveball from Ula, misses away, and the count 2-1. But Lincoln scored in the bottom of the first, and the Crawdads tied it in the top of the second. Then in the bottom of the third, Lincoln scored again to take the lead. And this is a fastball that misses low and inside, and the count 3-1 with 2 away to Garrett Forrester, who's been very effective tonight for Lincoln. In the 5th, the Crawdads tied it for a second time, and this pitch misses low, and that is the free pass issued by Ula to Garrett Forrester. And here comes Jason Brando, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout looking in the third. The single came in the first. That walk was the third walk issued tonight by Iverson. Now has 5 strikeouts to the 3 walks through 4 2/3 pitch. This is the 22nd man he's faced. This ball is popped up high. Dabbs looking at it. Dabbs has it in front of the Potter dugout for out number 3. But a huge big fly for the number 9 hitter, Jack Grant, that is able to break our tie for a third time tonight. It is 3-2 Lincoln, and the Crawdads about to come up to bat in the top of the 6th when we return. More Crawdads baseball coming your way on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 6th inning. There is a new pitcher for the Lincoln Potters. It is Logan Bell, the 6'1 righty from Lisbon, Ohio. He's 208. He'll be a sophomore over at Bowling Green. Comes in with a 3.17 ERA. Does have a save this season. Obviously coming in to the game in the 6th. Save will not be on the line. I don't anticipate this being a two-pitcher game for either team. He's thrown 22 and 2/3 innings with 26 strikeouts and 13 walks. Has given up 19 hits, so 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and he will have to deal with Jake Brandell.
I've been talking about that forever.
It'll be Brandell, then Muniz and Dabbs, righty,
I'm
lefty.
not gonna go
Brandell
UA
0 for 2 tonight. Struck out in the first and was put out 5-3 in his last trip to the plate, and Brandell fouls this away.
I've been wrong a lot.
Brandell is 19 for 71 this summer. Came into the game batting .275 with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. He was a real spark plug for the Crawdads when he got here at the end of June, but the numbers have been trending the other way lately. Hopefully for Jake, he's able to get things back together. 0-1 pitch, and this is fouled back into the netting, and the count 0-2. Brandell takes a walk around home plate, puts the bat under the arm, adjusts the gloves, and takes a practice swing. The all-black bat for Brandell. And the righty Bell still is on the mound, ready to go.
Over there?
66, 67.
Logan Bell's last outing was on July 21st. This pitch misses away just by a few inches, and the count 1-2.
It was a little fun.
1 ball, 2 strikes to
Banner when those sparks are flying.
Crawdad right fielder. On deck is Diego Muniz, who's over at third base tonight. 1-2 pitch from Bell. This is way outside. Latnick sees it and probably actually hears it first, rather. Bounce off of the backstop and then throws it over towards the Potter dugout. Put that ball out of play, and the count even at 2-2. On the 21st against Healdsburg, Bell was able to pitch 2 innings, gave up 2 runs. Both were earned, gave up 4 hits. walked to but faced 11. They needed every pitcher they could find that day. That was a long game, 13-11 victory for Lincoln. This pitch misses the zone, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
No. Puff was the C-130.
130s, yeah.
See what the payoff pitch is from the righty Bell to the righty Brandell. Here it is, and Brandell swings, chops it, foul, and bounces back into the netting. So we'll do 3-2 once again. Pitch number 7 of the AB coming up. Good job by Brandell leading off here in the top of the 6th to make Logan throw a lot of pitches. Let his teammates in the dugout see what Logan has. And the 3-2 pitch to Brandell. Brandell swings, hits this on the ground, but foul. And easy over there, Will Hoyt. A nice diving effort, but the ball was foul. Don't want to see anything happen crazy over there with a foul ball off the bat of Brandell. Herculean effort. It's a nice dive. Probably be a really good action shot for whoever the in-stadium photographer is. I know the Crawdads brought their photographer here tonight, Celine Desay. And yes, same last name as me. That is my sister. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed by Brandell. So Brandell is down on strikes after an 9-pitch battle. A good job by Jake, able to force a lot of pitches out of Bell, but he was not able to come up with a hit. Appreciate it. Clearing up some camera issues today. Sorry about that.
Smile.
Great staff here in Lincoln. Muniz in the batter's box. 0-1 pitch to Muniz. And the count is 1-1. Always interesting. People don't want to be on camera.
They're busy.
They know it's not there. They are always on it. This pitch is fielded by the pitcher Bell after it was hit high off the ground by Muniz, and the put out 1-3. Crawdads gone down in order so far. First Brandell, then Diego Muniz, and here is Chase Dabbs.
Can I buy you a beer? You and your better half?
Dabbs is 0 for 2. Muniz broke the streak of 2 straight groundouts to Jack Grant, 4-3. Dabbs has done the same earlier, 4-3 and then 4-3, both in the first and the fourth. The first pitch to Dabbs called a strike. The count 0-1 to Chase. Second pitch from the righty Bell misses and bounces away from Blatnick. The count even at 1-1. Longest that Bell has gone on the mound this summer was 3 innings on July 16th against Solano. 1-1 pitch to Dabbs. That finds the outside corner, the lefty, for strike number 2. Count 1-2. In innings 3 and 4, the Crawdads went down in order, and they're threatening to do the same here. 1-2 pitch came way inside on Chase. He had to lean out of the way, and the count even at 2-2 with 2 outs. And a 3-2 ball game that Lincoln leads here in the top of the 6th in Lincoln. 2-2 pitch to Chase, and Dabbs takes for a ball, and the count full 3-2. Saw Jake Brandell battle in a 3-2 count, ended up being finally struck out on 9 pitches. And the payoff pitch here to Dabbs, who hits this hard on the ground. It gets by a diving Jack Grant. And Dabbs will have a 2-out single in the top of the 6th. The tying run is on base, and here is the power bat of Trevor Werner. Wouldn't it be a great time to see him get home run number 7? Werner playing DH tonight, something we have not seen him do very much this summer, but good to give Trevor a break, who is an everyday third baseman, and when he's not at third base, he's played shortstop a few times. And Werner hits this high, but not deep, and that will be an out in center. David has it. The Crawdads leave Dabbs over at first. Werner taking care of on just one pitch, and the Dads are still down by 1. It is 3-2 after 5.5 innings played. Game moving rather fast now, just coming up on 7:50 p.m. First pitch was right around 6:04. And the Potters will be up to bat in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They lead by a run. It is 3-2 Lincoln here on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome back to Crawdads Baseball. Quinton Hall leading off. It'll be Hall, Trey Furry, and Carson Blatnick. There's a new pitcher on the mound. It's Jace Root for the Crawdads. First pitch from Root is a strike. Iverson was able to go 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, and 3 runs all earned. Struck out 5, walked 3. Second pitch from Root is offline, count 1-1. Iverson was able to face 22, so a good solid 5 innings out of Ula. Crawdads down by a run. It's 3-2 Lincoln. Third pitch from Root is a comebacker, and he reaches up, and it bounces off the glove. And it gave Quinton Hall enough time to hustle into first. That'll be an infield single for Quinton Hall. A good effort there by Jace to try to catch the ball right off the mound, but it was hit very hard and tried to snow cone it. Fortunately for Jace, just ricocheted off the leather and then onto the ground. Here's Trey Furry. Murray's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Flew out to left in the first. Pretty good charge on the ball in the first inning. died out for Hayden Schott to get to it. Swings at the first pitch he sees from Jace and tips it into the glove of Zach Tejero. But a 1-run lead for Lincoln, and they have Hall over on first. And the lefty Root fires but misses low.
Really?
This is Jace's 4th appearance in conference play, his 10th overall. He'll be a freshman over at San Joaquin Delta College. 6'1" lefty, he's still got some growing to do. Good kid, Jace is. And the 1-1 pitch, and this is hit high into deep right center. Running back on it is Brandell, and the runner tags Hall, and he makes it from first to second. A good job of Quinton Hall tagging up. Brandell did his best to try to throw it back in. But a good job by Quinton to put on the burners, tag from first over to second, so productive out number 1. And here is Carson Blatnick. Blatnick has a pair of walks tonight. The only person that Ula walked, Ula just happened to walk him 2 times. And Jace throws the first pitch to Blatnick for ball number 1. Count 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch coming up to Blatnick, and he foul tips this, and looks like it's hit off the chest protector of Tejero. Root, the lefty, the glove hanging down by his right knee, brings it up with the baseball all at once, looks back to second and fires. This ball is hooked down the right field line, but well foul. Watch out there in the open bullpen if you're on Lincoln. The bullpens are open here at McBean Stadium. The playoffs will be here at McBean Stadium from August 4th to August 6th. Crawdads still alive for a playoff spot. The Potters trying to lock up the second place spot tonight with a win against Walnut Creek. Crawdads trying to avoid that. And Hall over at second. Root keeping an eye on him, looking at him, making sure he doesn't get going early here. Blatnick still without an official AB, and the pitch here misses wide outside to the lefty Blatnick. Lefty against lefty. See if Jace decides to come in now after going outside with that pitch and missing. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away, but a runner in scoring position for the Potters in the form of Quinton Hall. And Root will step off, brush the brow a little bit. Want to go back through the signals with Tejero and maybe go somewhere else. Blatnick hitting an even 278 this season. 2-2 pitch to Blatnick, just misses the outside corner, and the count runs full 3-2. I think Jace wanted that call. It was just a tick outside. We've seen that pitch called a strike tonight, though. But that one, not a strike for Root. The payoff pitch coming here from Jace after a quick look to second, and here it is. And this is hit foul down near the Lincoln bullpen and dugout. Blatnick has faced Root one time this summer, and in their one battle, Blatnick does have a hit. Payoff pitch once again, and this is a breaking ball that gets Blatnick looking. He turned away from it because he thought it was going to maybe hit him, and it started well inside near Blatnick and then crept back up over the plate. A good pitch there from Root, and that's the second out for Jace and the Dads, with Quinton Hall still over at second. Blatnick officially has his first AB of the night. It is a strikeout looking to go along with that pair of walks. And here is Trace Wilhoit, the right-handed batter. First pitch to Wilhoit is a fastball that has a little too much elevation to it. The count 1-0. Wilhoit hit into 6-4-3 double play. And he also struck out in the fourth. Jace throws and misses here. A good block by Tajero. Make sure that Hall's not able to advance from second over to third. And Root takes the cap off, puts it back on. Jace is an absolute gamer. Can't wait to see where he ends up after his JUCO days. 6'1" lefty who can throw strikes. I mean, what's not to like about that? Back-to-back lefties tonight for the Crawdads on the mound. 2-0 pitch. This is in there for strike number one. Count 2-1. The fans not too happy about that call, but it is called a strike. Will Hoyt, who's 0 for 2 tonight, does have a home run and 24 RBIs. Has a chance for RBI number 25 with a runner in scoring position. 2-1 pitch. That misses, and the count 3-1. Root all the way up to 17 pitches now. Next pitch will be pitch number 18. 9 strikes and 8 balls. Looking to finish off his first inning of work here tonight without surrendering a run. It's 3-2 Lincoln. Crawdads trying to stay close. 3-1 pitch. That misses. And then it'll be ball number 4. There was a check swing, but obviously the plane of the plate was not broken by Trace Wilhoit, and that's a walk for Wilhoit. That was Wilhoit's 24th walk of the season. So go along with those 37 strikeouts. And here's Jack Grant, who's 1 for 2. He had the big bomb in the 5th. That was the left field. Everybody knew it was gone. But he did strike out in the 2nd. That was actually the first batter that Ula struck out tonight. We'll see what the 9-hole hitter has here with 2 away and 2 runners on. First pitch to Grant is a good fastball from Jace that hits the outside corner. Lefty against righty. The righty in the batter's box and the lefty on the mound. Dabbs playing pretty far off the bag. Rover playing away from second as well, so the runner's not being held on. The outfield playing straight away, and this pitch is hit foul. Dabbs running on it near the Lincoln bullpen, and it lands out of play near what appears to be maybe a stretching area over near the bullpen. On count 0-2 to Jack Grant. Last time Jace faced the Potters was back on July 11th. That was a 7-3 loss for the Crawdads. Pitched 2 innings, did not give up any runs, so just 2 hits. 0-2 pitch. This is fouled out of play by Grant over everything, and that will land out by the street heading into the stadium. Nice place to watch a game of baseball. If you're going to be here for the playoffs, no matter who makes it, definitely recommend coming up to Lincoln. If you're in the area, be a fun time. Good food. 0-2 pitch, misses high and away. And there's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good job by Tajero, able to slide over there and get the glove on it. As there are 2 runners on, Hall over at second. Will Hoyt over at first. One runner in scoring position with 2 away in a 3-2 game that Lincoln leads. 1-2 pitch here to Grant, and he fouls this off of the plate, says the umpire, and the count will hold at 1-2. Next pitch will be pitch number 20 for Jace. Jace fires, and that's a breaking ball that misses outside. There's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Root has pitched this entire inning out of the stretch. He's done a pretty admirable job of it. It's been good. He's been efficient. He's just looking for the 3rd out and trying to keep the Potters off the board here in the bottom of the 6th. Jace looks back and delivers. This pitch misses high and outside. That was a fastball, and a full count is worked by Jack Grant. Don't want the lineup card to turn over to Trevor Haskins, who's 2 for 3 tonight with a double and a single. But you also got to worry about Grant, who hit a home run in the 5th. You can't lay a cookie out over the plate for Grant. We'll see what Jace goes to. You got to throw a strike. 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And Root is able to get rid of Grant and get out of the inning, leaving 2 Potters on base, 1 at first, 1 on second. Hall got to second, but no further. Lincoln Potters still lead 3-2, but it could have been more if not for the wonderful pitching of Jace Root. 7th inning coming up. Crawdads looking to break through and tie this game back up. Once again, 3-2 Lincoln, 7th inning in a few. Top of the 7th inning, Hayden Schott leading things off for the Crawdads. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Schott, then Tejero and Rover, barring any pinch hitters. Schott's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, and one of them was an RBI single back in the 2nd. He's been good. He's been really good about the last 2 or 3 weeks here for the Crawdads. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it. Logan Bell still at the mound for the Potters. Righty on the mound, lefty in the box. 0-1 pitch, and shot cannot lay off. Fouls it. Count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter Hayden here. Logan has thrown 19 pitches, 13 strikes to 6 balls. Here's pitch number 20, and it's a strikeout pitch. Shot got caught fishing, and a pitch that was well outside, actually on the chalk of the batter's box where a righty would stand. Not a good pitch for Hayden to chase, and he goes down on just the 3 pitches, fouled the first 2 away, then swung at the 3rd. He is now 2 for 3. Here is Zach DeHaro. DeHaro takes the first pitch. It's a good fastball from Bell for strike number 1. Surprised that DeHaro didn't pull the trigger there. 0-1 pitch to Tejero. That's a fastball that is on the outer half of the plate. Back-to-back strikes to Tejero. 5 straight strikes thrown by Logan Bell to start the 7th. 0-2 to Tejero. He's able to stay alive, just jam it foul. Tejero's 10 for 43 this summer. 0-2 to Zach. This misses away. And the Crawdad backstop able to lay off. That was the same pitch that Bell was able to get Hayden shot with. That's the first ball thrown, official ball thrown by Bell this inning. And this pitch is fouled into the netting. Over near where some of the Potter staff is sitting, just outside their dugout. The count stays 1-2. Tejero done a good job behind the plate tonight for the Crawdads. He's trying to stay alive here. 1-2 pitch to Zach, and he takes a good eye by Zach. And the count even at 2-2. Also seen Tejero play some first base. Seen him DH. 2-2 pitch. This misses well low and outside, and the count runs full 3-2. As I mentioned earlier, the catching has gotten a lot better, whether it's been Tejero, Muniz, or Griffin behind the plate. I mean, these guys really have grown this summer. Payoff pitch to Zach coming up. And here it is. Tejero swings and grounds it weakly over to Will Hoyt, who charges it and makes the throw to first in time. Maybe if that was Jordan Thompson or perhaps Sam Hunt, someone who's a little more fleet of foot, could have been an infield single, but however, Tejero is doing the catching tonight. I'm sure the legs are already a little bit sore from being in the stance, not able to hustle down the line like some other players may be keen to do. And here is Tommy Rover. First pitch to Rover. Misses away, and the count 1-0.
I'm American Indian stuff.
And Irish.
No, I have a bidet.
The 1-0 pitch on the way to Rover misses high. The count 2-0. Rover's 0 for 1. 2-0 pitch. Rover gets a charge into it, and backing up is Brando, who makes the play on the warning track for the 3rd out. He jumped up and reached behind him and grabbed it. Rover was hustling, thought he was going to at least have a double. I did too. Instead, Brando puts an end to that and an end to the top of the 7th. After 6.5 innings played, Lincoln leads 3-2, bottom of the 7th. Coming up here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Crawdads for the bottom of the 7th is Joshua Sanders. So Jace Root only able to pitch an inning, but did a good job. Gave up 1 hit, no runs, and struck out 2, walked 1, faced 5. So he did his job, pitched a very clean 6th inning. Did get into a little trouble with a runner in scoring position, 2 on base, but he was able to make it out without letting any damage occur. And Joshua Sanders on the mound comes in with a 2.13 ERA and 12 2/3 innings pitched. This is his 9th appearance. And the shortstop, Trevor Haskins, will be the first person that Sanders faces. And Haskins hits this past Rover into right field for a leadoff single. After Haskins, it's David who's walking up now, and then Jeffrey David will lead on to Garrett Forrester. 1, 2, 3, top of the order for the Potters, as Haskins, the number 1 hitter, is over at first after hitting the first pitch he saw from the man from UConn, and Joshua Sanders. Sanders, a 6'4" righty. He'll be a sophomore at Texas Tech. Last time he pitched was on the 22nd against Solano in a 3-2 win. Pickoff move, and a good one, but not in time as Haskins able to slide back in safely to the bag. On the 22nd at Solano, Sanders was able to go an inning, give up 1 run, strike out 1, and he ended up getting the save in that game. Hitter showing bunt here, and David pulls back. The count 1-0. Interesting to see the bunt shown there by David. David is 0 for 3 today. He's flown out to right. He's popped up over the mound, and the runner goes. Bunt is shown. The throw on the ground from Tejero, and it's not in time. A good tag attempt by Esparza, but the throw was low, and it bounced to Esparza. And that's a clean steal there for Haskins. Count 1-1, and David's still showing bunt and does not connect here. This fastball misses outside to the righty David. So the single by Haskins and then a stolen base. And now David is showing bunt. The stolen base for Haskins was stolen base number 8. He's only been caught once. 2-1 on the way, and this is hit into left field. That is down. Haskins rounds third, and he will stop up at third after a very good throw in from left field by Hayden Schott, and also a wonderful job cutting it off by Diego Muniz. Even though that was a single, Haskins had to stop at third. There are runners at the corners with nobody out, and Sanders is in the jam of all jams right now, having to deal with Garrett Forrester, who already has a pair of RBIs tonight, a few hard-hit balls, and has walked once in the 5th. An RBI single in the 1st, then a hard-hit sacrifice fly ball for an RBI in the 3rd. First pitch here from Sanders is a good fastball for strike number 1. On deck is another righty in Brando. And the pitch from Sanders, and that's a strike. No throw from Tejero to get the runner, Jeffrey, who runs into second. And the Potters now have 2 runners in scoring position. Back-to-back singles, both by Haskins and David. But 2 strikes up on Forrester. Here's the 2-strike pitch, and this is hit on the ground hard to Muniz, who then looks over to third, then throws over to first in time, and able to get 1 out. No runs are able to score. So a really good job by Muniz. First he looked over at third. Esparza did a great job coming over to third base to cover the bag. Then he took a peek at second, gunned it over to first, and then Dabbs almost had David off the bag at second. That would have been a heck of a double play, but a good effort by Muniz. That's one out. And that will be interesting to see if the intentional walk is put on here of Jason Brando to put the double play in effect. Sanders throws a first pitch strike, a swinging strike for Brando. It was a beautiful fastball that just got by Brando. Brando, righty, who is 1 for 3 tonight with a single in the first. Backwards K in the third. 0-1 pitch. That's a beautiful slider that comes back in the zone. Starts well inside, heading towards Brando, and then breaks back in. And the count 0-2. See if Sanders can come up with back-to-back strikeouts here. That would go a long way for the Crawdads. 0-2 pitch. And this pitch nearly bounces away from Tejero. He's able to pick it with the glove. Good job by Zach. A game getting pretty exciting. I mean, it's been a good one all night. Neither pitcher, though, whether it was the starters Gomez or Iverson or Bell, who's been out there now for the Potters, and then Root, and then Sanders have really been in serious jams. This ball is chopped high and foul down the third base line. Count 1-2. That is an issue. If a ball is beat into the ground here because of how hard this infield plays, because it's artificial turf, it will bounce very high. It will be easy for Haskins to come from third all the way to home. Even if it's a ball that is hit into the ground, you have to worry about the run coming home. The 1-2 pitch from Sanders is another good slider. This time it's fought off by Brando, and he stays alive. Count is 1-2 still. With 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. David over at second, Haskins at third. Sanders has done a good job of pouring the ball into the zone. 10 strikes to 3 balls. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Is swung on and missed by Brando. And he takes the walk of shame back to the Potters' dugout with the head hung low. And there are now 2 outs after back-to-back strikeouts by Joshua Sanders. Or not back-to-back, rather. Forrester was taking care of 5-3. And Brando was taken out with that strikeout. And now Hall is up to the plate, and Sanders will be looking for back-to-back strikeouts. So you had the beautiful put-out 5-3 by Muniz, who looked at both bags and then threw over to first, and then the strikeout of Brando, and here's Hall. Sanders' first pitch to Quinton Hall misses low, and the count 1-0. Getting a little ahead of myself here and all the excitement that's going on in Lincoln. There 1 ball on the board, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no strikes. And Quinton Hall at the plate, who had an infield single back in the 6th. That was the ball that was hit off of the glove of Jace Root. And here's the 1-0 pitch to Hall, who hits this high, but drifting foul down the right field line, and it is foul. The count even at 1-1, and this would just be a great moment for Joshua Sanders if he is indeed able to get himself out of the self-imposed jam and put the fire out here on the mound for the Crawdads. Lights now on here. 1-1 pitch. This bounces up to Tejero, and Tejero has done a really good job. That's the second clutch block he's made this half inning. One pitch on the way from Sanders. He deals. And this is a pitch that misses away to the righty Hall, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Sanders is going to have to dig deep here and throw a strike. Don't want to lay something center cut for Quinton to get into. 3-1 pitch, and this is a slider that cannot come back in fast enough, and come back out fast enough. It stays in. to the righty Hall, and he is walked. Quinton Hall remains 1 for 3 tonight. Sanders not able to collect back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning. But he's got a chance here against Trey Furry to get out number 3, but the bases are juiced. First pitch to Furry is hit into the ground. Esparza has it and flips on to second, and Rover makes the play, makes the grab on it. So that was interesting that Esparza decided to just toss it to Rover at second instead of throw to first, but he did a really good job making a very accurate toss, and Rover able to keep the foot on the bag, and that is the third out. So the bases are left loaded in the bottom of the 7th. After all of that work that Lincoln just put in, they were not able to get a single run out of it. And Sanders, it was not pretty, gave up back-to-back singles to start the inning out. Then the 5-3 put out by Muniz. That was a great play. And then the strikeout of Brendel. But then it looked like it was pretty dicey again with the walk of Hall. But Esparza able to show off the range from shortstop to get the third out of the 7th. 8th inning coming up. It is 3-2 Lincoln here on the Crawdads streaming network. Welcome back to Crawdads Baseball. The man who made the beautiful play over at short to then toss on to Rover at second for the third out in the bottom of the 7th is at the plate. It is the 9-hitter, Sammy Esparza. Logan Bell still on the mound. Esparza drops a bunt, and he's hustling hard down the first base line. The throw, though, from Will Hoyt is in time. A beautiful barehanded play by Will Hoyt. Charged the ball well and got the speedy Esparza. Seen Esparza drop a bunt like that in a situation after he makes a great defensive play in one half inning and then leads off the next half with a bunt. We've seen him reach base, not that time.
Oh, really?
Here is Jordan Thompson, and after Thompson it will be Jake Brandell.
Oh, okay, I see why.
First pitch to JT, he takes a big rip at it, but misses it. Count 0-1. A 1 pitch here to Thompson, and he hits this foul down third base line over near the dugout of Walnut Creek. Getting some word here in the booth that Trevor Werner is actually warming up in the bullpen for the Crawdads. That's interesting, so I wonder if Sanders is done after that. And the third pitch to Thompson is on the outer corner for strike 3. Thompson is taken care of on just 3 pitches and goes down looking. Here is Jake Brandell with 2 gone in the top of the 8th. Crawdads running out of chances. Brandell hits this on the ground softly to Will Hoyt, who bobbles it and then throws not in time. Brandell will be safe over at first. That'll be an E5.
What the heck happened? I saw that. You can't hide.
Surprised that Will Hoyt decided to throw it as well, and the throw got by the first baseman Forrester, and they're going to award Brandell second base. Interesting, as Brandell looked like he kind of ran through the line, never declared like he was going to go over to second, but the rules is the rules, so he will be at second base. With 2 outs, Brandell over at second. Will Hoyt was just trying to do a little too much there. Very good at third base for the Potters, but because of that mistake, the tying run is in scoring position over at second, and here is Diego Muniz. Played a very good third base in his own right tonight. E5 could come back to haunt Lincoln. First pitch to Muniz. Good breaking pitch from Logan Bell.
Can't be a shopper.
Muniz
Watch this guy just destroy me.
had a night here a month ago where he hit 2 big home runs. There's only 2 home runs of the season have come here in Lincoln. 281 with 14 driven in. 0-1 pitch to Diego. Hits this hard through the hole on the left side, and that will score the tying run. The throw is actually in time. It looked like Brandell was going to make it from second to home, and a beautiful throw and a great tag guns him down. I thought he was going to be safe, and instead a great throw from Quinton Hall in left field is able to gun down Brandell as he was rounding third and slid home head first. And instead of the game being tied 3-3 on a hard hit ball by Diego Muniz, Brandell is out at the plate. That's been the kind of night it's been for the Crawdads. The offense has not been able to get fully in gear, and it is still 3-2. What a play by Hall on a hit that you had to think was going to score the tying run. So the 7th has been full of missed opportunities for both teams. Brandell cannot make it home. He is gunned down. And in the top of the 7th, the Lincoln Potters left the bases loaded. Neither team able to score in the either in the bottom of the 7th or now in the top of the 8th. So the bottom of the 8th coming up with Lincoln coming up to bat. And the Crawdads will only have one more crack at this thing, but they got to keep Lincoln off the board here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see who is on the mound for the Crawdads, and it actually looks like it will be Trevor Werner, if my eyes do not deceive me. Going to look through the binocs here and see if it's number 28. And indeed it is 28. It is Trevor Werner. So we have not seen Werner pitch in a while. This will be interesting. He DH'd tonight, so doing a little hitting, and now he's on the mound. Sanders going to take you through the break here, folks. There's a lot to manage here, a lot to go through. It's been an exciting game. So glad you've been here to join us tonight. But Sanders was able to pitch an inning, gave up 2 hits, walked 1, struck out 1, faced 6. It was a very good job by him to not give up any runs in a tough situation. Bases ended up being left loaded by Lincoln. But it'll be interesting to see what Werner has on the mound for the Crawdads. Last time we saw Werner pitch, I believe, was all the way back in June. Werner has 1 appearance in conference play. That 1 appearance was a start. That appearance was a start against the Solano Mudcats on June 13th. And that was an 8-7 loss. That game was at Solano. That was played at Wilsey Wood High School. But Werner is 0-1. We'll see what he is able to do here on the mound for the Crawdads. Hopefully for him and the Dads, he's able to find that arm strength that he uses so often over at third base. Here's the first pitch to Blatnick. It's a good fastball that gets by Blatnick, who swings and misses for strike number 1. Interesting to see Werner on the mound. It'll be Blatnick, Will Hoyt, and then Jack Grant, 7, 8, and 9 for the Potters. And Werner throws a second straight strike. He's gone back-to-back fastballs here, low in the zone, and the count 0-2. Werner is over at College Station. He'll be a junior, and he gets Blatnick on 3 straight fastballs. Blatnick swings and misses, and that is a strikeout for tonight's DH. Now on the mound, Trevor Werner. That's beautiful. Werner, the righty. Interesting. So used to seeing him over at third, and this is the first time that we've broadcasted a game where he's actually been on that mound. That game on June 13th was not carried as there's no internet at Wilsey Wood High School. And second man Werner faces here is Will Hoyt, who lets a fastball go by for a ball. But the fastball has been very lively from Trevor. We'll see if he has any secondary stuff to go with it. I know he does obviously have a changeup, but I think it's going to be predominantly fastball for Trevor. 1-0 pitch, and this is on the count 1-1. Werner will be junior after the summer. He's a native of Texas. Spring, Texas, 6'3", 215 on the mound. 1-1 after the high leg kick, and then delivers a strike. The fastball is just coming in hot. I wish there was a velo gun here in the stadium at McBean Stadium, but there is not. I can only guess how hard he is throwing. 1-2 pitch. There's the curveball, and he gets them with the Uncle Charlie. That is beautiful. A good job for Werner. That's back-to-back strikeouts. So I was wondering which breaking pitch we'd see from Trevor. It's the curveball tonight. We've seen a very good fastball, and now it'll be Jack Grant, who is 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a home run. But the real story this half inning has been Werner out of the pen. First pitch here to Grant, and Werner misses low with the fastball. Has a very high leg kick, and then kind of an over-the-top delivery. But it gets up on you in a hurry. Here's the leg kick, and there's the throw. That one, good. Fastball looked like it had some cut to it. Hits the outside corner to the righty Grant. Count even, 1-1.
Be a hitter, buddy.
Werner working very quickly on the mound. 1-1 pitch. This is a fastball that Grant cannot catch up to. He's able to make a little bit of foul contact, but not able to barrel it up, and it's into the netting for strike 2. Count 1-2 with 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Two strikes on Grant with the ball as well. And Werner takes a deep breath and delivers. There's a fastball that Grant's able to spoil. Wonder if Werner is going to try to climb the ladder here with the fastball. We've seen him able to locate the ball around the knees and shins so far. Werner has just thrown pitch number 11. Here's pitch 12. It's a fastball that Grant cannot catch up to. And Trevor Werner has just struck out the side in only his second appearance on the mound this summer. So a good job by Werner out of the bullpen in relief for the Crawdads. Top of the 9th coming up. In just a few short moments, Crawdads need a run to tie it. It is 3-2 Lincoln. Welcome back to Lincoln at McBean Stadium. After Trevor Warner strikes out the side in the bottom of the 8th, he will have a chance to bat here. It's going to be 4, 5, and 6 for the Crawdads. This is their last 3 chances of the evening. Have to make something happen here in a 3-2 ball game that Lincoln leads. It'll be Dabbs, Warner, and Schott. Logan Bell still on the mound for the Potters. We'll have to deal with a lefty and the right-handed bat of Trevor Warner and Hayden Schott. A whole lot of power as well with 3 home runs hitting in the 6th position. But here is the first pitch to Chase Dabbs, who takes high and away for ball 1, count 1-0. It is dark out here now in Lincoln. Fun game to watch. A very close game all the way through. Good breaking ball that misses right around the shins, and the count is 2-0 to Chase Dabbs. Dabbs is 1 for 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs over the right side. Grant has seen a lot of balls come his way. 2-0 pitch to Chase, and he takes low and inside for ball 3. See what Dabbs decides to do here. You know, back on Sunday, Hayden Schott was in a similar situation, up 3-0, and he decided to swing, and he hit a home run. 3-0 pitch. This is on the outside black for strike 1. That was the 3-0 pitch, and it was the first strike of the top of the 9th. Crawdads need to win if they want to stay alive in the playoff hunt. 3-1 pitch to Dabbs, misses high and away, and Dabbs has a lead-off walk. Warner had the big triple in the top of the 2nd, was then driven in by Hayden Schott, but he has a chance to be a hero here. The tying run over at first, the go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Warner, who has to be feeling good after striking out the side in the bottom of the 8th. I mean, that was just a thing of beauty. The pitching has been wonderful for the Crawdads. Unfortunately, they're on the wrong side of things right now. It's been Iverson, Root, or Sanders, and then Warner all have done a very good job on the mound for Walnut Creek. Warner on first, and the first pitch to Warner. Here it is, and that is good for strike 1. The ball was dropped by Blattman. Called a strike nonetheless. On deck is Hayden Schott with Dabbs having a narrow lead off of first. Logan Bell will be the pitcher of record if Lincoln's able to hold on, but Warner and Schott have a lot to say about that. 0-1 pitch to Trevor. That's a fastball that misses low. Trevor just looks at it and knows, I am not swinging at anything like that. That is tailor-made for a ground ball double play.
911 help.
Count 1-1. Warner's going to be waiting for something thigh high he can get into and drive into the outfield. Very short porch here to all areas. 1-1 pitch to Trevor. He takes, and this nearly gets away from Blatnick, but he's able to scoop it up, and Dabbs left first. Count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out, top of the 9th. Logan Bell has pitched 3 innings tonight. Up at 46 pitches. 2-1 pitch. Bell sets and throws. This is a fastball that is very low, and luckily Blatnick able to field it cleanly, and the count 3-1. Blatnick jogs out to have a brief conference with his battery mate Logan Bell, and he's telling him, hey, just throw it over the plate, you can do this, you gotta figure this out. And I'm sure Trevor Warner is saying, yeah, throw it over the plate, I dare you. We know Warner has some juice in the bat. 6 home runs, 27 RBIs. And RBI would be very big right now for Walnut Creek. Shot on deck, nobody out. And Tejero in the hole. 3-1 pitch to Trevor, who hits this, and that'll land in shallow left field. After the base on balls of Chase Dabbs, there's a little flare shot by Trevor Warner. That's his 2nd hit of the game. He He swung very hard at it, and it just was a little blooper over the head of the shortstop Haskins, and it landed perfectly in between Haskins and Hall. Looks like there will be a new pitcher coming in for Lincoln now, with the Crawdads trying to fight back with 2 runners on base. Dabbs is over at first, or Dabbs is at second. He advances from first to second. And Warner over at first base now, and we'll see who the new pitcher is. There is a new pitcher on the mound up in the bullpen, but he's not on the mound on the field yet. So we'll see if there is a change. There is someone warming up. This is a very long meeting on the mound. And we'll see if Logan Bell stays in the game. It looked like they were going to make a change. And everybody's back out now, so meeting time is over. And it's time to get back to baseball. Hayden Schott is ready to go. He definitely wants to electrify all the Crawdads fans watching and listening at home. Wouldn't it be a moment to see him homer in back-to-back games? A good strike on the ball here with 2 runners on. Dabbs in scoring position over on second. And Schott. Golden opportunity to be a hero for Walnut Creek. Schott, the lefty, against the righty Bell, and Schott is showing bunt, and Bell steps off the mound, looks back to second, nothing going on there. Schott has the RBI single back in the second, and then he also singled in the fifth, did strike out in the seventh. Goes bunt again, and the bunt sign is back on. First pitch to Schott. Schott lays it down perfectly, and they're going to say it's hit off of the plate. That was beautiful. That was just rolling down the first base line very slowly. It was going to put both Bell and Blatnick in a precarious position as to who was going to field it and then throw. Instead, it is a foul ball. Count 0-1.
Oh, sorry. Wrong story.
Just need a run to tie it. It is 3-2 Lincoln. Here in the top of the ninth with nobody out.
Me too. I could tell because you talked about who they can
Over at second, Warner at first. Bell looks back to second and fires. Schott swings and chops it high. It's over the head of Forrester, and a run will score, the tying run, and Warner will stop at third, and an errant throw back into the infield, and Schott will have second. Well, that's that high chopper that I'm talking about. I mention it so many times when we come to visit. If you spike it into the ground off of the bat, because of how hard the infield plays, it has a chance to bounce over everybody. Not matter how tall you are, and I believe Forrester is about 6'3", 6'4" out there at first. Game is tied. It is 3-3. Schott at second, Warner at third, nobody out. And Zach DeHero, who is 1 for 3, has 2 runners in scoring position, and it'll be lefty against righty once again. So a walk, a bloop, and a little chopper single. And now here comes manager Ryan Stevens. This is the second mound meeting. That means it'll be a call to the bullpen, and we will get, I believe, a new pitcher when we return. You are watching Crawdads Baseball on the Crawdads Streaming Network. It's all tied up here in the top of the ninth. 3-3. We'll be right back. Hey, all you Crawdads fans, you still have a chance to come out to Louis Gisto Field in Moraga, California to see the Crawdads in action before the summer season is over. On Wednesday the 28th, the Crawdads will take on the Solano Mudcats at 4:30 p.m. And on Friday the 30th at 4 p.m. against the Lincoln Potters. And then to close out the season on Sunday the 1st of August, it'll be the Solano Mudcats visiting at 1 p.m., all at Louis Gisto Field in Moraga, California. We hope to see you out there. And remember, BYO Creek, bring your own creek.
Let's settle down, Potters. Let's settle down, buddy. Double play.
All right.
Get this over with.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the ninth. The scoring run, the tying run has been scored. There's a new pitcher on the mound for Lincoln. It is Ryan Bruno. And Tejero at the plate. Tejero takes the first pitch from Bruno for strike one. And the count is 0-1 with nobody out. 2 runners in scoring position. Warner over at third. Shot at second. Bruno comes in. His 11th appearance on the mound this season with a 1.17 ERA. 0-1 pitch. Nearly hits Tejero. And good for Blatnick that it did not get away from him and hit the backstop. Although that backstop is so close to the catcher that I'm not sure Warner, even with his speed, would have been able to come home. Count even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Tejero, who skies this, and that will be in shallow center field, and that drops for a hit. Warner comes home to score, and the Crawdads are on top 4-3. A beautiful little bloop single, little Texas leaguer there by Zach Tejero. Warner comes home to score, and the Crawdads have put 2 up in the top of the ninth to take a 4-3 lead. It's just the 1 run, but it is very important. And Tommy Rover up to bat. First pitch to Rover. Misses outside. Bruno's out here trying to keep the game in reach. Who's going to try to keep it tied. And a little shot by Tejero ruins those plans. The second pitch to Rover misses low. There are runners on the corners. Shot over at third. Tejero at first. Rover at the plate in the top of the ninth with still nobody out. This game was 3-2. Heading into the top of the ninth, the Crawdads hadn't scored since the 5th. Neither team had. 2-0 pitch to Rover. Rover swings and hits this on the ground over to Will Hoyt. It goes to second for 1. And Rover cannot beat out the play over at first, but that is an RBI that makes it 5-3. So a 5-4-3 double play RBI for Rover.
That's good news. We got him right where we want him.
Here is Sammy Esparza. The base paths have been wiped clean. Shot came in to score from third. It is now a 2-run lead for the Crawdads, who are spoiling the party here tonight for Lincoln. First pitch to Esparza. He takes a big whack at it but misses, and the count 0-1. It'll be interesting to see who stays on for the save attempt for Walnut Creek. It may be Werner, the way he's pitched back in the 8th. Count 0-1 to the number 9 hitter, Esparza here. 1 strike pitch, Esparza takes. He is now in an 0-2 hole with the Crawdads leading 5-3.
He thinks he's at the mall.
Wasn't the big blast that got the Crawdads going tonight. I mean, other than the triple from Trevor, it's been a walk and some bloops here in the top of the 9th just to reset things. The leadoff hitter, Dabbs, was walked by Logan Bell, and then Trevor Werner got a hit. Hayden Schott had a hit, and a little bloop by Tejero. Schott hit a ball into the ground. Werner had a bloop shot, and Tejero had a weakly hit ball that landed as well. So that's how we've gotten here. There are 2 strikes on Sammy Esparza. Potter faithful are trying to get themselves back in, but they have been thunderstruck here in the top of the 9th. Pitch to Esparza misses inside. He able to shuffle out of the way, and the count 1-2. You can hear the cowbells going here up in Lincoln. Are reminiscent of the old crowds that would show up at Arco Arena for Kings games with the cowbells. 1-2 pitch, and Esparza hits this on the ground to Haskins. Haskins comes up with it, throws in time to get Esparza, but the Crawdads take the lead. It is 5-3 heading in to the bottom of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th inning, it will be Trevor Werner, the man who pitched the 8th and then came around to score in the bottom of the 8th. Will be on the mound. He has been outstanding for the Crawdads tonight. The bottom of the 8th, he struck out the side, 7, 8, 9 hitters. Now he'll have to deal with 1, 2, 3. It'll be Haskins, David, and Garrett Forrester. One of the toughest parts of this lineup for Trevor Werner to deal with. It'll be 3 straight righties for the righty from A&M here in the bottom of the 9th, with the Crawdads holding a 5-3 lead. First pitch is a good fastball for strike number 1 to Haskins. Werner had a key hit in the top of the 9th after the walk of Dabbs, and ended up coming around to score after Dabbs scored as well. And a beautiful breaking pitch from Werner. The count is 0-2. 2 strikes on the board for Trevor Werner here, looking to strike out Haskins, who calls for time. Haskins has a double and a pair of singles. He's 3 for 4 tonight. Werner looking to make it 3 for 5. This would be Werner's first save of the CCL season. Maybe showing the fellas down in Aggieland something about him on the mound. There's a fastball that is fouled away. The Count is 0-2, and actually looking at the scorebook and being informed by the statistician here in the booth, Werner actually will be in line for the win. He pitched the 8th, and so he's looking to even his record at 1-1. 0-2 pitch is hit high, but foul down the right field line. That's one of the issues with throwing the ball so hard here, especially at a very small ballpark down the lines. I mean, any contact, even a weakly hit ball, when it's 314 down the lines, it might be an out at Louis Gisto. It could be out here. And a swing and a miss, and Werner has now struck out 4 straight batters. He finished last inning striking out Jack Grant, the 9-hitter, and he starts off this inning striking out Trevor Haskins, the 1-hitter. So here is Jeffrey David. By the way, a little note here, all of the strikeouts have been of the swinging variety. So Werner is throwing the ball in the zone, and he's throwing it very hard. Pitch here to David. That misses. David thought about going around and appealed down to first. And they say he did not go. David's 1 for 4 tonight with a single. He struck out once. That was back in the 3rd against Ula, who started the evening for Walnut Creek. And now Tejero is out to converse with Werner, if only for a short time, just a few minutes there. Probably just going over a few signs with the man on the mound, as this is only his 2nd appearance on the mound all season for the Crawdads. 1-0 pitch, Werner into the leg kick and throws. This is fouled back and out of play. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike, one's all over the place with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th, and the Crawdads with a 2-run lead. 1-1 pitch is swung on and I think tapped foul, possibly off the shoe of Jeffrey David. He just about came out of his shoes there with the swing. It's a little bit off balance. It shows you how hard Werner is throwing. See if Garrett Forster is the man who stays on deck. Doesn't look like any changes are going to happen here, so it'll be 3 straight righties as planned against Trevor Werner. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's a curveball that freezes up Jeffrey David, and that is the 5th straight strikeout for Trevor Werner and the first that he gets looking. Wow. Werner has come in and just fired bullets into the strike zone. The fastball has been vicious. The curveball has been great. That's the 2nd good curveball we've seen from Werner this evening. He had a beautiful one back in the 8th. And here's the last chance for Lincoln. Forster swings at a fastball, and the count 0-1. Werner is dealing. There's no other way to put it. This is dominance on the mound for Walnut Creek. 1 strike pitch from Werner is hit into the outfield, and making a run on it is JT, and that ball is hit for a ground rule double as it bounces up and then over the fence. The night not over yet. That is the first man that Werner has allowed to reach. And Forster, not afraid after seeing the 5 previous men go down on strikes, swings at the first pitch he sees, and he is over at second. The tying run at the plate. That is Jason Brando, another righty. All Werner needs is 1 more out, but he's going to have to make some good pitches. He's up to 23. He's thrown 20 strikes in 3 balls. Werner fires, and that's a ball that's hit up the box, and that'll drive in 1 run, and it'll be an RBI single. The Potters inch back in a little closer. It is now 5-4. Amazing. After Werner comes in and throws to 5 straight batters and strikes them all out, Forrester goes after the first pitch, gets a double, and Brando hits the first pitch he sees on the ground for an RBI single. This is the question here, is Lincoln kind of figuring out what Werner's doing. If they're just going to sit dead red on fastballs around the knees, they can hit them up the box, up the middle all day. But still 2 outs. The go-ahead run at the plate. It is 5-4. The first pitch here is a good pitch for strike number 1 to Quinton Hall. Hall walked back in the 7th, had an infield single in the 6th. He's 1 for 3 with the walk. Hall does have 6 home runs and 38 driven in, so Werner cannot give him something on a tee. This is going to be a real battle. Here's the 1-strike pitch from Trevor that is swung on and hit foul. Bounced off the ground and then spun back to the left. 2 strikes on the board for Trevor Werner. He just needs 1 more to send the Crawdads home happy. He'll get his first win of the season. It'll be a miraculous comeback for the Crawdads tonight, who were able to score 3 runs in the top of the 9th. They have let 1 in here in the bottom of the 9th, but Werner doing everything he can along with his teammates to drive out of here with a win and keep their playoff hopes alive.
Put it out on the fence. Let's get this over with.
2-strike pitch on the way from Werner. Here it is. And that pitch is on the outside corner, and that game is over. Werner gets the last out. It's a strikeout looking. The fans do not like it. Quinton Hall goes down on 3 pitches. No one likes that call here in Lincoln except for Walnut Creek. I paused for a moment because it looked like the home plate umpire did not know whether he was going to call that a strike or not. And there's no argument that can be made now as the game is in the books. The Crawdads win 5-4, coming back late, scoring 3 in the top of the 9th. So a little late inning magic here for Walnut Creek. And they are victorious, getting their 20th win of the season. They are now 20-21, where Lincoln is now 34-18. So a good win for Walnut Creek. Werner has to be the player of the game after pitching 2 great innings. Did give up 1 run in the 9th, but he was pretty much untouchable except for Garrett Forrester and Jason Brando. But he ends up with 6 strikeouts. So every out that he recorded was via the punch-out. Final line score. Crawdads had 10 hits to go with the 5 runs. They did commit an error, and there were 10 hits and 4 runs for Lincoln with an error there too. So these games have been very even for the Crawdads and the Potters, but this one was down to the wire the whole way. And for a moment there in the bottom of the 9th, it looked like Lincoln was going to make a comeback bid. Unfortunately for them, they did not, and the Potters do not clinch their playoff berth. The Crawdads stay alive. And just to give you some final notes here, Ulla Iverson, who started the game, was able to go 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. Jace Root came in, pitched an inning. So did Sanders. Neither of them gave up a run. And then Trevor Werner pitched the 8th and the 9th, gave up 2 hits, but struck out 6. Did give up the run that got Lincoln to within 1 run of tying, but the rest is history. So a great game for the Crawdads to win. They have to be feeling good. Offensive highlights. The RBI men tonight were Shot, Harrow, Rover, and Esparza. Shot had a very effective night at the plate. He was 3 for 4. He did strike out once, but he came around to score twice. And Werner was 2 for 4, did have a triple. And then that little bloop single later in the game. But Werner also came around to score twice. And Chase Dabbs, who was walked in the top of the 9th leading off, came around to score. So those are the men who crossed home plate for Walnut Creek. Dabbs was the only man who walked tonight for the Crawdads, but I think something of import here, looking at the scorebook right now, the Crawdads only struck out 6 times all night, and that is key. The Crawdads have had nights where they have struck out double digits, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 we've even seen. But tonight, only striking out 6 times, taking a good approach at the plate and hanging tough in a game that went down to the wire. Started at 6:04, finished right around 9:06. So just about a 3-hour game here up in Lincoln, California. Still waiting for the scoreboard to finalize. But the Crawdads do win 5-4. Other action around the league. Over at Vanden High School, Healdsburg put the smackdown on Solano. That was 18-2. A victory for the Prune Packers. They are still in first, and they will be until the season is over. That game started at 5:09 p.m. and went for 2 hours and 39 minutes. Over at the MLB Urban Youth Academy down in Compton, California, the Barons won 4-3 over the Conejo Oaks. So a good little late run for the Barons. They've been playing some good baseball lately, which is good for them. They've been able to win, I believe, 2 out of their last 4. So that's a nice thing to see for the Academy, as it had been pretty rough going for a while. In addition to the game between Conejo and Academy, Santa Barbara is leading in the top of the 9th down in Pasadena at Jackie Robinson Field. They are winning against the Arroyo Seco Saints 12-6. And at Sinsheimer Park in San Luis Obispo, the OC Riptide were able to pull out a 3-2 victory. Those were the games from around the leagues, and just going to update everybody on the standings. The Crawdads able to gain a game. They are now 11 games back, whereas the Lincoln Potters are 7 games back, so Crawdads still technically in it, and Lincoln has their magic number still at 1. Crawdads going to try to keep it there. They did tonight. Down south, Santa Barbara is in first place. However, they will not play in the CCL playoffs. They will instead play for the West Coast World Series, I believe. So really in first place, it's Arroyo Seco and San Luis Obispo. Those are the 2 sure bets in the playoffs right now. But San Luis Obispo and OC Riptide are tied record-wise, so comes down to the tiebreakers there. I believe San Luis Obispo did have it going into tonight, but maybe with the victory by the OC Riptide, it is now officially even. But a good win for the Crawdads, and they will be back in action tomorrow. That will be a home game. And that will be at St. Mary's Park at 4:30. So at Louis Gisto Field at St. Mary's College against the Solano Mudcats. Then on Thursday at Recreation Park in Healdsburg against the Healdsburg Prune Packers. And Friday against the Potters at home at 4. And then Saturday, 6:05 back here at McBean. And then to finish the season, at least the regular season, the Crawdads will host the Mudcats at 1 p.m. on Sunday, August 1st. So please come out to that game. The only other big sporting event on that day is the Gold Cup. And just to update you, if you were saying, oh, I can't come to St. Mary's to watch the Crawdads play because USA and Mexico are probably going to play in the Gold Cup. Well, that game has been moved at Allegiant Stadium from 1 p.m. to a kickoff time of 5 p.m. So plenty of time to come out, bring your own creek, enjoy the game, and see some Crawdads baseball before we are wrapped up for this summer 2021 season. Once again, I'm Alon to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. Crawdads win in dramatic fashion, 5-4 in Lincoln. You have just watched Crawdads Baseball on the Crawdads Streaming Network.